The Ottoman Empire lasted for over 6 centuries and spread across parts of North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. Still, even with the might of this powerful kingdom that managed to orchestrate the fall of Constantinople, they were never able to seize the second center point of Christianity in Europe, Rome. On the list of factors that played a role in why the Ottomans were never able to gain control of the Italian peninsula, one of the most obvious was geography. Between Turkey and Italy stood 2 paths, one over land or the other through the sea. The Adriatic Sea served as an innate obstacle between the Ottomans and Rome, making the land path a quicker and potentially easier route. But there were issues in that direction as well, because after the capture of Constantinople in 1453 and then Athens in 1458, the Ottomans could have potentially had an easy shot across Europe overland to Italy, if not for an unignorable threat from Albania. Jurj, known by the name of Skanderbeg, was an Albanian military commander with a passion for opposing the Ottoman Empire. Skanderbeg had previously bested the troops of Murad II, father of Mehmed the Conqueror, and served as a direct blockage for any plans by the latter to reach Italy by land. As a result, Sultan Mehmed and his empire missed their prime opportunity to seize power in the peninsula, right after both Byzantium and Greece had fallen into Ottoman hands. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and engage with our content. Your support costs nothing, but makes a significant difference in helping us grow and continue providing high-quality content for you. Your engagement also allows us to sustain our work, as this channel is our primary livelihood. Thank you for being part of our journey. Italy was a realm of notable instability. Back in 1442, Alfonso V of Aragon gained rulership over the Kingdom of Naples as well. After the king's death in 1458, the unity between Naples and Sicily was called into question by the eruption of war over claims to the throne of Naples. The strife between the Aragonese and Angevin factions sent southern Italy into chaos, leading to what could have been an ideal time for the Ottomans to attempt an invasion. It is incredibly likely that Sultan Mehmed actually intended on doing exactly that based on a quote he allegedly spoke to the Florentine merchant spy Benedetto dei in 1460. After asking the merchant many questions about current affairs in Italy and being purposely misled by Benedetto, Mehmed said to him, "My Florentine, I have heard all you have said and I believe it fully, but I answer you and say that Italy could no longer perform the great deeds it performed in the past, because in those days when it did wonders, the reason was the power of the Romans, who were then sole masters of Italy. But today you are 20 states and groups of powers in your country, and you are in disagreement among yourselves and bitter enemies. And I know many things which will all be of help to me in the plan I have made. And seeing that I am young and rich and favored by fortune, I intend to surpass Caesar and Alexander and Xerxes by far." Even if Mehmed was ready to take aim at Rome and the rest of the Italian peninsula, he once again faced an obstacle in the form of a man. This time it was Vlad III Dracula of Wallachia who would throw a wrench in the Sultan's plans. Vlad Dracula, similar to Skanderbeg, had spent some time as an Ottoman hostage when he was a child, and had since become an enemy of the empire. This entire botched debacle forced the Ottomans to shift their focus off any prior plans in order to deal with Vlad the Impaler and then with Stefan the Great of Moldavia. Skirmishes in the north and bad diplomatic relations with Hungary, Wallachia, and Moldavia shifted the focus. The Turks wanted peace in those regions to focus again on their expansion. Finally clearing Mehmed's schedule a little more so that he could once again look towards Italy, in 1464, the First Ottoman-Venetian War began after growing pressure from the Pope for the European nations to come together and unleash a new crusade. This conflict, as well as the Varna Crusade and the other battles and skirmishes across the Balkans, weakened the Ottoman military capabilities and postponed future campaigns in the West. Although this war was not an official bid by the Ottomans to make a run at seizing Italy, it did mark a rather significant development in the level of opportunity to do so. Skanderbeg, who readily fought against the encroaching empire, once again fell ill with malaria and died during the span of the warfare. Without Skanderbeg, the Albanians were no longer such a solid obstacle in Mehmed's path to Italy, and the Sultan seemed to recognize the situation. In the summer of 1480, after the Treaty of Constantinople concluded the Ottoman-Venetian War the previous year, Sultan Mehmed II launched an invasion into Italy through the city of Otranto. He deployed a force of 128 ships with the goal of capturing the port city and establishing a strategic foothold in the peninsula. The Ottoman forces landed near Otranto on July 28, 1480. After a 2-week-long siege, the city walls were breached and Ottoman troops entered Otranto, destroying homes, storming the citadel, and killing approximately 12,000 citizens while enslaving another 5,000. This initial victory seemed promising for Mehmed's Italian ambitions, signaling the potential beginning of a large campaign through Italy. However, the triumph was short-lived. Gedik Ahmed Pasha, the Sultan's commander, was forced to halt further advances in the fall due to supply shortages. He returned to Albania with a significant portion of his forces, leaving behind only around 800 infantrymen and 500 cavalry in Otranto. The lack of a direct land connection to the Ottoman heartlands made maintaining control over the Italian peninsula particularly challenging. Despite multiple attempts by the nearby kingdoms of Sicily and Naples to retake the city, the Ottomans held their ground for a time. However, the situation changed drastically with the death of Sultan Mehmed II in May 1481. As the Ottoman Empire grappled with internal disputes over succession, they failed to send Ahmed Pasha back to reinforce Otranto. This delay eventually led to negotiations with the opposing forces, culminating in the Ottoman surrender and their withdrawal from the Italian peninsula in September 1481. After the recapture of Otranto by Christian forces, the Ottomans made a few more attempts to gain a foothold in Italy, but none were successful. Their focus shifted instead to regions like Hungary, Persia, the Levant, and Egypt, where they continued to strengthen their influence in the eastern Mediterranean. On January 26, 1699, the Ottomans signed the Treaty of Karlowitz, marking the end of their conflict with the Holy League, an alliance of Austria, Russia, Poland, and Venice. This treaty not only halted Ottoman aggression toward the Italian peninsula, but also forced them to cede several territories, including the Principality of Transylvania. Italy, with its divided yet resilient kingdoms, proved to be a far more challenging target than Mehmed and his successors might have anticipated. Even when the Italian states were embroiled in internal disputes, they managed to unite when faced with the threat of Ottoman invasion. Ultimately, the natural geography, strong military resistance in the Balkans, conflicts with Christian kingdoms, the untimely death of a sultan, and a series of other obstacles made the conquest of Italy an insurmountable challenge for the Ottomans. Despite their brief success in Otranto, the Ottoman Empire was never able to secure lasting dominance in the region. With different circumstances, such as better timing or fewer obstacles, Sultan Mehmed might have seen greater success after the fall of Byzantium. Yet, whether due to poor planning, unfavorable conditions, or sheer misfortune, an Ottoman conquest of Italy was simply not meant to be. We will explore more episodes on this fascinating history in the future. Stay tuned!